Controversy and heated debate in Anne Arundel County over what teachers can display in classrooms as school system leaders consider a policy that would effectively ban certain flags.
And we begin there. The Anne Arundel County School Board heard public comment on that policy tonight. That meeting's still going on right now.
Before the meeting began, Fox 45 News spoke with protesters on both sides of the issue.
For me, having a pride flag and a Black Lives Matter flag enables me to meet the social emotional needs of students, and if their social emotional needs are not met, they're not learning anything.
We're heading in the wrong direction. It's just becoming more and more limiting, and I think any good teacher knows that a strong classroom is a classroom that can teach to all.
We always only had the United States flag in our classroom, and I really think that's what we need to do.
When you have the American flag, that's for everyone. Other flags divide and they categorize people, which brings confusion and also division and animosity. And so sticking with the American flag cuts out the confusion and helps the students to focus and be united.
Fox 45's Olivia Dance has a closer look at what the proposal could do.
In Anne Arundel County, a decision is looming over a new policy in public schools.
I would be outraged and sad.
The display of flags policy would limit the number of flags that could be displayed on school property.
And limits the display of flags other than the American, Maryland, Anne Arundel County, and Annapolis City flags to those with a bona fide educational purpose as determined by the principal or the principal's designee.
If passed, it would ban the LGBTQ Pride flag from being displayed in all of the 127 school buildings.
I'm opposed to it because some of our students are not seen and heard in their communities or in their households. And it is very important that they feel part of the community.
Dana Schalheim, Anne Arundel County School Board member representing District 5, is against the policy as it stands now.
What I see is a trampling of First Amendment rights here. We have the right to free speech. We have the right to freedom of expression. That does not get eliminated in whole when you step into our school buildings.
Schalheim also has concerns with how the policy would be enforced and what defines a flag as having an educational purpose. The policy was first introduced during a board meeting last month.
I think that a lot of people probably understand that I was the board member who wanted to see this policy created, and I am very proud of that. But I will also say that it's not because of any reason other than constituents coming to me with concerns.
Corinne Frank, the board member pushing for the policy, says there were concerns brought to her about disruptions in school related to flags. A similar policy was passed in Carroll County schools last year, banning pride flags. After the policy was first introduced in Anne Arundel County, a 30-day public comment period began, and over 1,000 comments were submitted, both in favor and against the policy. For example, one comment reads in part, quote, "Thank you for this common sense policy. The flags for the USA and Maryland cover all students." Another comment saying, "Please allow students to display whatever flag they want as long as hate is not displayed," end quote. A third reader and final vote on the policy will take place on July 12th, which is when the superintendent will also offer a recommendation. The superintendent hasn't taken a stance yet, but discussed the policy during the meeting last month.
We need policies and programs that help us foster environments where our students are accepted, provided access, and feel supported.
Reporting in Annapolis, I'm Olivia Dance, Fox 45 News.
The school board did not make any amendments to the plan tonight. A vote is expected during its next meeting. Fox 45 News will continue to follow this developing story and keep you updated both on air and online. But we want to hear from you. Should there be a restriction on flags in classrooms? So far, 92% of those who voted say yes. Head to foxbaltimore.com/vote.
Well, the state board assigned to implement the blueprint for Maryland's future expects to receive education plans from every school in the system in the state by next Thursday, July 6th. The Kerwin plan, as it's also known, was passed back in 2021. It'll pump $30 billion additional tax dollars into public education statewide over the first 10 years, and then an additional $4 billion every year after that. The plans that school systems submit must show how they are working to meet the requirements of the blueprint.
We're in the process of analyzing those. And by the end of next month, that is July, around the 27th of July, we will make a recommendation as to whether or not they have fulfilled the requirements of the initial blueprint.
Well, now that the bill for the Kerwin plan is coming due, taxpayers aren't really happy about it. A poll from the Maryland Public Policy Institute shows 63% of Marylanders oppose the tax increases that are needed to fund education spending. Baltimore City alone is paying $67 million more dollars than it had planned on. Leaders across the state have sounded the alarm about the spending. Mayor Scott called it a gut punch. Taxpayer watchdog David Williams says lawmakers need to make a change before taxpayers face consequences like program cuts and tax increases.
What needs to happen is that the state legislature, they need to go back to the drawing board, figure out a way to slow the implementation of it and make sure that taxpayers aren't on the hook for an education system that is requiring billions upon billions of dollars more in taxpayer funding.
You can find more on the blueprint for Maryland's future and the concerns over its price tag on our website, foxbaltimore.com. I'm Maxine Stryker. Thanks for watching. Here's another video to watch. Also, take a moment to subscribe to our channel.